Hi guys, this is BuzzBait's Linux Things. Hey, I just wanted to talk to you about a few things here. I purchased a laptop battery for my sister, and the battery I purchased was a 12 cell battery, so it was extra thick and it fit on her laptop, but when she would open the lid, it would bump into the battery and it wouldn't open all the way. So I kept the laptop battery, and when I kept it, I didn't know what to do with it. I did have a compact CQ57 that it actually fit. And then, I thought I'd keep it for backup because why spend the money to send it back and all that. So um, later on, I happened across on Craigslist a laptop, a CQ56, also uses the same battery. The one on the Craigslist was for sale for $40, and it didn't have a battery. It needed a battery. I offered them $25 and they accepted 35. So I went and made that deal. Took the battery with me when I picked up the laptop. I slapped it in right away and found out that the laptop worked just fine. And the laptop's in pretty fair condition, but it came with the original Intel Celeron I think it was a C900 processor. We'll double check that in a moment, but I know it was a Celeron 900 single core, and it was 2.2 gigahertz processor. Not very snappy, especially when I got it. It only had 2 gigs of RAM. Um, DDR2 RAM is what the CQ56 uses, and so it's older. And to upgrade the RAM, I happen to have a 2 gigabyte stick on hand, but what I wanted to do was the laptop will hold 8 gigs, so I wanted to upgrade it to more. Um, I went down to the recycling center and they had 8 gigs of chip, 8 gigs of RAM, no problem, but it was $80, and I didn't want to spend $80 on a laptop that I'd only paid $35 for. Um, I did browse eBay, and I happened across one sale where they were selling a 4 gig chip for $19.99, and I purchased that one, but to be honest, I haven't been able to find one cheaper than like $28, and most of them are between $35 and $40 for the 4 gig DDR2 chips. So I did purchase that one, and so that was pretty cool. The RAM fit in there just fine with one of the 2 gig chips that I already had in there. So now I got 6 gigs of RAM in this laptop, and at the recycling center, when I didn't purchase the RAM there, I bought a 250 gigabyte Samsung SSD for $40. And I'm like, that's all fine and dandy. And I did some searching around online and went to the manuals and stuff, and I found out that this little laptop, I could upgrade the processor. And so I purchased a processor on eBay. And I'm going to leave this just here for a moment. If you want to read all that, you can pause it. But I did purchase the T45 processor on eBay for um, $12, 12 and a half bucks, something like that. So I did see a couple of them were under $10. I think like $8 a piece. They just looked a little scuffed up and scratched. They might have worked perfectly. I don't know, but the one I purchased looked like it was new and shiny, so I bought that. And here's the comparison of the processors on the CPU benchmark website. Then it came with this 900 Intel Celeron 900 at 2.2 gigahertz single core, and that's what I really wanted to improve on. This Pentium T45 is the one I purchased. That's the one that's in the laptop, and you can see it's quite a bit higher. The other Intel compatible CPU is right here. Um, it has a much higher score than the C900, but not quite as high as it does the one I purchased and put in it. And let's see if I go to System. You can see this. I'll get this updated here, and you'll see that as soon as this loads up, it does have the T45 at 2.3 gigahertz. And memory. It does have the 6 gigs. Anyway, I just had to share that information. So I've got roughly $125 into this system, that because I didn't want to send back a battery, of all things. It's a fun little laptop. It's not a gamer, but it works, and I've got a Linux Mint XFCE running on this, and so that's basically what I like to do, and I just like to use the cube and stuff, and that's my thing. I like to play around with Compiz, and those of you who've watched my videos before, you already know that. So anyway, it's an old laptop. Like I said, running DDR2 RAM. The processor was, let's see, I think it had, when they were released, it said it came out in the Q2 of 2009. So I know the laptop's someplace around that neighborhood, probably about close to 10 years old. But, you know, while you can't really, it's not going to run Fortnite and games like that, but, you know, I mean, it'll be good enough to run for your daily driver without driving you bonkers waiting for it to load or anything. The SSD snappy, boots up in about 22.5 seconds, so, and it gets to the login screen that quick. So all in all, you know, sometimes you just want an extra computer around, and this one did work out pretty nice, and I'm actually impressed. I did run into an issue. I think I closed that window, but oh man, I ran into an issue with the clasps that hold the power switch and the USB port. I've worked on lots of laptops, but I never had those little clasps that hold the cables in place come off. And these ones actually came off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I just wasted all my $125 because I didn't think I was going to be able to get that back on. And let's see here, I know what I'm looking for. Oh, but yeah, I was scared, and I thought I'd wrecked it, but it works. Yeah, I was able to, like I say here, put a lot of patience, some powerful reading glasses, a magnifying glass, and a flashlight. And I'm not kidding. I'm an old guy. I got bad eyes, so I needed all of that to see what I was doing there. So that was interesting. Anyway, guys, you know, it's easy to look at old electronics and just, yeah, you know, scoff at it and drive on by, or whatever you think about it. That's fine. But hey, some of them still have some life in them, and if you can put Linux on it, a Linux operating system. I know when I got this one, it did have Windows 7 on it. They said they tried to do a factory reinstall on it, but they didn't really work out as good as they wanted, and I still had some of their files on there. Not a lot of stuff, but I could see the owner's email address would pop up in the history and stuff. So I wanted to wipe it, and I tried to upgrade it to Windows 10 just because it's free, you know. And I'm like, okay, it's got a valid license. So, and when I did that, it said it'd have problems with the display, and I'm like, that figures. So Linux, here it comes. So this is a really great little Linux machine, and Linux XFCE just does the trick where Windows 10 said it might not work due to the display driver issue. I did have the guy at the electronics store tell me, yeah, it'll probably work, but you know what? I'm happy with Linux, and you know, I might have been able to resell it or something with the way I put Windows on it, but it does make for an easier sell than Linux Mint in my experience. If you guys have an easier time selling a Linux product, well, you know, I mean, hey, I'm all for it, but yeah, I just in my experience, Windows sells easier. Anyway, with all that being said, that's my feelings on Linux about, you know, It's a great operating system. I love using it. There are people out there that love using it. But yeah, if I was to turn around and try to sell this and get my money back out of it, I would probably want Windows on it. I just think it'd be a better shot at selling it faster, getting it to move. And when I decide to sell something, I usually want it to move fast. I don't want to hang on to it for 3 more months and yeah, maybe we'll see. No, I don't like doing that stuff, but that's me. And you know, maybe because Windows is just so popular that just my perceptions too. But I do like using Linux, but I just don't know that many other people that do. Um, they're few and far between in the common computing world, but for those of us who like it, I guess we just hang in there and keep plugging away, guys. Hope you have a good day. This is the end of my video, and yeah, like I say, don't scoff at the old stuff. Sometimes it still has life. So, guys, Linux Things, signing off. Have a good day. Bye.